link I can tweet?
I'm about to tweet it out, Bronwyn. If you want.
Awesome.
And we're live!
We are live. Look at that. Awesomeness. All right, so we are Bring Out Your Geek, and we are discussing Lavalantula.
Woo!
Are you saying cussing Lavalantula? Are we going to just cuss through this whole thing?
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
All right. I didn't know.
It's awesome.
Well, I've got a peanut gallery in the background if you guys can hear it. I don't know. But I got a strong vote for half dozen of the other.
It happens. I have to say, I was laughing pretty much, like, not necessarily at stuff that I think was supposed to be intentionally funny, but
True story. It's hard to pick out those, though, you know? Like, this is actually funny, this is supposed to be funny, and a lot of the movie fell in between.
yeah. Yeah, I think, SyFy and the people that make movies for SyFy, being SyFy, I think they kind of know that, there's a level of hokey to the creature features that we all, come to love and enjoy and expect.
And that we're looking for.
Exactly. So to some degree, you're just never sure.
I have a question. I'm raising my hand because I have a question.
You there in the back.
Yes. So actually I have a statement and a question. First of all, for anybody listening, thank you. Please tweet hashtag SnarkWeek. That'll be the easiest way for us to, you can mention us and we'll probably see it that way, but if you do that hashtag SnarkWeek, we'll be able to kind of catch it that way. This particular hangout, due to Google evilness, we're not doing a Q&A, but if you tweet out with SnarkWeek, we'll see it, or mention one of us, and I'm sure we'll see it that way too. My question is, Jeans, there appear to be a pair of sunglasses on your head.
I know.
And I'd like to ask why.
Long day. Really long day. Like, I didn't even realize until, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes ago, I walked by the mirror and I was like, oh my god. Yeah.
Well, I was assuming that the sun just stayed out longer in your neck of the woods.
No, I was on the run all day long. So I came in from running errands and doing all kinds of craziness and, like, just started shoveling my dinner in while I was tweeting and watching Lavalantula, and so I literally went straight from the door to the sofa, turned it on. I didn't even bother. So now they're just there because
fashion statement.
Now I have sunglass hair.
It's a thing. And Bronwyn, the sun shines 7/24 in America. So
America,
obviously.
So
Okay,
Janine's tweeted out saying Snark Week was lots of fun, which I would have to agree with.
Nice.
You guys caught a lot. I know I saw Jeans lurking about from time to time this week. Bronwyn, did you get a chance to catch much of this week with all the movies?
I have been a solid lurker this week because my ball hockey team made playoffs.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations.
And thank you very much. Very exciting. So we had 2 semifinal games and a final game just this week. On top of an audit at work and all sorts of things. So I have been lurking solidly in the background and not letting myself get pulled into conversation, no matter how funny they were.
I caught Sharknado 3 and one other one. I don't remember what it was, though.
Was it the first night?
I don't think so.
Because the first night, well, gosh, it's all a blur now. Crap, I'm not even going to get it right here now. Earlier in the week it was Three-Headed Shark. So let me throw some names at you.
Three-Headed Shark. That's what I caught.
Which is awesome.
And Sharknado, and then Lavalantula. Yeah.
So Chris Ray, the director of Three-Headed Shark Attack and Mega Shark vs. Colossus, was on Dylan Knows during Snark Week.
That's awesome.
Snark Week. Very cool. Also very cool guy. At Tiki Terrors, if you're not following him, please do. He's a very cool guy.
Tough act to follow now, since I'm on Dylan Knows tomorrow.
Yeah, just pretend you directed a movie.
You know, it's all good. I played ball hockey. Like a lot. Look, we went into double overtime. I am way too old for 62 minutes of solid ball hockey. It was fun, though.
That sounds like a Twitter profile.
But yeah, so all right, so Bronwyn, you didn't catch any of the other sci-fi creature features this week.
I did not. However, I do feel like I did because I watched Twitter through the whole sort of thing and kind of got to see some of it through the through the hashtag for Snark Week. So that was vastly entertaining.
Okay, and I think Kelly, you watched all of them, right?
So what night was it? One of the nights, I think it might have been Monday night, I had a conflict, so I was able to catch the beginning of one. I was able to catch the beginning of Three-Headed Shark Attack and the very end of Zombie Shark, and then
Zombie Shark. That was funny.
So it was good. I really liked Three-Headed Shark Attack a lot.
I did too. It was just that bad. It was so bad.
And since my hunch will be, of the three of us, I'm the only person that this matters to, but Rob Van Dam, who's a wrestler, was in Three-Headed Shark Attack. He was part of the crew, part of Danny Trejo's crew, and Danny Trejo and Rob Van Dam, RVD. Oh my God!
Danny Trejo, whose name in that movie was Mike Burns.
Yeah.
Like, I know you probably wrote the script with the name Mike Burns, but when you cast Danny Trejo, couldn't you have, I don't know,
Jose Burns?
You know,
Mike Burns. Like,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but he did get a machete out, so Machete got a machete out, so that was sort of awesome. Yeah.
Can't go too far wrong with a machete in a shark movie.
Sure. Okay, so we're a few minutes and we got to get to Lavalantula.
We probably should talk about the movie we're supposed to talk about. Icky.
I have to say, Nia Peoples is like my hero.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Let's do this.
Maybe for different reasons, but yeah.
Well, yeah, probably. Okay, so I looked it up. She's 54. She looks fantastic.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, she looks amazing for someone even 10 years younger than her. She did a really good job. I tweeted in there like, I want to be in her kickboxing class.
Right? Hot damn. Emphasis on hot.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she should have run a little more. My vote would have been more running. More running.
I was like, sports bra. Every time she ran, I was like, oh, ow, ow.
Well, and why did she take the sports bra off? She had it on.
I know. It's better for science, as we've established before. This would have positioned her well.
As a scientist with boobs, I protest.
I had thought about it. You're going to really debunk my theory, so let's move away from that quickly.
Moving along.
Nothing to see here.
Exactly. So she just, she really, I mean, she's in great shape. She did a fantastic job. She really kicked some ass, and I'm just going to say, she kicked ass.
Mm-hmm.
Want to be her when I grow up. She did such a good job.
I would rather watch her run than Steve Guttenberg, because he's weird looking when he runs. He's got some sort of like Steven Seagal thing going on.
I know, he is also in good shape.
Oh, fantastic! Well. He looked great.
Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah, most of the Police Academy crew has held up pretty well. I mean, none of them look like, oh my God, not like a Val Kilmer kind of shit.
Laverne, I did not know she talked like a normal person.
Right?
Yeah.
Laverne from Blizzard.
Who saw that coming?
Be talking like this. I was like, oh my God.
I know. Like that. And I have to admit, I loved that. I loved the whole sort of Police Academy reunion effect that kind of made the movie for me.
Except for the fact that Calhoun got taken out like right at the beginning.
Oh, I know.
Yes, it was
just
sad.
Her face just melted off.
Yeah, it was sad. But
that picture of Calhoun straddling Mahoney right in the face during the first movie started popping up on Twitter.
Like a lot.
Yeah. So you guys both watched Big Ass Spider, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Greg Grunberg.
Did you? So this movie starts.
Okay.
and Steve Guttenberg's in a chair and he's getting, clobbered through there. Did you assume, as I did, that Mike Mendez was kind of replaying, because outstanding, and Mel has talked about this, Mel just loves the start of Big Ass Spider. They did kind of towards the end of the scene, they did kind of a preview of what was going to come, and it was just an outstanding scene with great music, and I was absolutely convinced going into this that he was doing the same thing. He's like showing us a scene from very late in the movie. I'm like, wow, Steve Guttenberg, kind of a badass, and he's tough, and he's fighting stuff. Did you think that that's what he was doing, or did you already know that there was something else going on here?
I didn't go right to Big Ass Spider, but I did have a tiny moment of, ooh, Steve Guttenberg's going to be a bat. Oh, no, he's not. No, okay.
I was like,
evaporated away.
Is he supposed to be in the military or something? Because my suspension of disbelief, despite the name of the movie, Lavalantula, my suspension of disbelief was being pressed.
Which is funny. I mean, all things considered, that's funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, at some point in this conversation, we'll come to where my suspension of disbelief was lost.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm going to laugh at you, too.
On.
Yeah, we gotta bring that up. So I wasn't quite buying it, and I was like, okay, there we go. That clicked for me.
Yeah, it kind of, for me, it was
actor.
When he opened his mouth. When he started talking, I was like, oh, God. Even for this is, no, he's got, okay. No, film inside a film, got it.
I had such a crush on him when he was like, back in the Cocoon days and stuff. So yeah, I was a little giddy when I saw that he was going to be in this, I have to say, and he was just fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Just his usual level of energy.
Yeah. And the little half smile that he's still trying to pull out. I liked it.
I'm not sure what he's been doing.
A lot. If you look in IMDb.
Really?
He's busy, and I'm like, where is all this stuff? Because I gotta find it.
Yep.
Yeah. He's been very busy.
Who knew?
Yeah. I did not know that.
Like the last few years, like nonstop working, and I.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Did you know, as a matter of fact, he was offered Sharknado and turned it down?
Like a cameo deal?
No, he was offered Ian Ziering's part and said no, thank you. And
whoa.
Yeah, and so then he said for this movie that when they came to him, he was like yes, he like jumped on it. His Sharknado, obviously it got to be so crazily popular.
Well, and in all fairness. Who saw that coming?
Right.
I did, however, like the little toss out there with the two of them.
Yes, that was awesome.
I'd love to help, but I got a shark thing.
And was this? Well, this wasn't an Asylum movie, right? I don't think it was, because I don't think Mendez does Asylum movies. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Pretty cool how they.
I'm sorry.
It's just pretty cool how that was a nice moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I liked all the sort of Jurassic Park references, and so I mean, it wasn't just Police Academy; it was sort of a bunch of them, with the. And I'm sorry, I am very sorry for that poor kid from Jurassic Park, but he grew up to look like a giant, creepy version of that poor kid from Jurassic Park.
Oh my God! And Patrick from Sandlot.
Oh yeah.
I was like. You're killing me, Smalls! That's all I can say. Like every time he showed up on screen, I love that guy. Oh my God! And he was on the tour bus.
Connection.
Yep, and carried through. And so I actually tweeted the picture out, and it continued to tweet all the way.
Nice.
Get retweeted through the end of the movie. Everybody was still retweeting. I'm like, and then I didn't realize he's actually on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I hope he didn't see that.
Oh, that would be awesome. I loved it if he was.
So I tweeted the "You're killing me, Smalls" meme, and I said, "You're killing me, Lavalantula." And
nice.
Yeah.
My only, I don't know if I'll call it a complaint or not, but what has happened through most of Snark Week is that parts of the cast took the time to kind of connect for the East Coast viewing and the West Coast viewing. And I get that most of them are probably on the West Coast, and that's better. And so, like, for tonight, Nia Peoples, she was kind of sort of out there, but not. Gutenberg was out there throwing out a few tweets, but didn't look like he was live watching. So it would have been a little bit cooler, and same with Mike Mendez, is that he was sort of out there, but I think they're going to be much more active for the West Coast showing, which makes sense, but it's kind of cool when you get a chance to interact with them.
Nia was tweeting quite a bit actually, and I think she took off about maybe 40 minutes or so before the end of it. She was actually in the middle of a fitting when she tweeted a picture of herself in a really lovely gown.
Nice.
And Gutenberg was actually keeping track of where it was trending on Twitter. I think he was watching enough. But, maybe he was actually watching as opposed to tweeting and watching. So. I mean, I just started following him, so I don't know what his tweeting style is, but not everybody multitasks well.
Okay, the key thing we all need to remember, and this is what we need to document in this show and remember from this point forward, is Nia Peoples just retweeted me.
Yay!
With and you like this one, Jeans, when she had talked about the who gets stuck in the tar pit.
Oh my God!
I tweeted back to her, Nia, mastodons, duh. And she just retweeted that. So
that is
awesome.
Very cool.
Amazing.
That was like total geek humor. That was awesome. I was like, that is my favorite tweet of the whole night. Who gets stuck in the freaking tar pits? He's like, mastodons.
Duh.
Duh.
How are we still having this conversation?
It was awesome. That was the best. It was great. Oh, and the puns, by the way, that were rolling out of Kelly's account were just...
they were pretty spectacular, and don't let a single person tell you otherwise, Kelly.
Yeah.
A little bit of headache in my eye.
Mr. Judgy Mike Bolinsky.
A little bit of headache in my eye on a couple of them.
Yeah,
anyway.
Twitch.
There was one I was particularly proud of. I had to go back and look at it, but it did pretty well. But.
I have to say, I am a little disappointed that the teenage girlfriend did not turn into a lava-breathing zombie.
Yeah, that would have been a highlight for me.
I was highly recommending they thinned the herd with her early on.
You were, yeah. Well, and I was waiting for a little homoerotic subtext between the two boys, because there really was no chemistry with her.
Well, she got bit early.
Yeah.
Although I did like the kind of X Games where the kids, I can skate up this ramp and I'll be able to escape them, and didn't work out so well.
And schmuck. But I mean, really, who picks the middle of a magma spewing arachnid apocalypse to pop a wheelie?
That kid.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So no, I'm sure as an actress she's great, but her character, she was meat, and I was ready for her to go.
Yeah. I mean, she was awfully pretty, which I think was the only
she was
thing
very
that
pretty.
They were going for on that one, but I'm sure she's got other skills.
I was ready for her to go right away. I was like, get rid of her.
The amount of complaining about her whining in my Twitter feed was really high. It was. Yeah. It's just a little bite. Of course, I don't think any of us realized that she now had spider eggs coursing through her veins. But
yeah, and I mean that's gonna put anyone in a mood. I'm just saying. So
a little bit.
I mean, it didn't end so well in The Mummy with so I couldn't see it going any better over here.
I hear you on that. Yeah, with the Beatles.
Right, and the
and the what?
Did I mention Nia Peoples retweeted me? I'm not sure I did. Let me go ahead.
You might have said something. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Casting.
What was that favorite moment again? I didn't hear you.
I think that's my favorite one.
That's a lovely shade of pink on you, Kelly. You look adorable.
Yeah, every 5 minutes or so, I'll probably be bringing it up from here on out. So, but very cool. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a shame because I do think most of the group, they were doing their best here for us East Coasters, or an East Coast time frame. But I think they're going to be all about it here in the West Coast, which would be very cool for the folks watching out there.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes or so. It'll.
Yep, I think so.
Give or take.
Yeah.
So it was it's a big week.
It was, but I think all right. So you were saying that you wanted to do a quick sort of, because you were watching the Twitter feed and there was a lot of question as far as like Sharknado 3 versus Lavalantula.
Yes.
Is there a favorite? So I'm gonna ask it now. Between the two of them. Well, and Bronwyn hasn't watched Sharknado.
I have not, so I will have to abstain.
All right, Kelly.
So
no pressure.
Our good friend Gerald Webb.
Yes.
Is has been very closely aligned with the Sharknado series, and he was really the guy behind getting the parade of cameos that occur in Sharknado. And each successive movie, they get more and more and more. And
I have to say, if you watch, I mean, because there's some people I don't think they get that Sharknado is not a movie that takes itself seriously. It is not supposed to be Shakespeare. It is supposed to be the opposite.
Well, and I love that everybody kind of compares things to Shakespeare. Shakespeare was really writing for the lowest common denominator. Like, he was going for the tomato throw,
Right. So, but, I think, when for now, though, I mean, if you're going to compare, like, really good theater, high-class acting, sort of, to, that's not Sharknado 3. It doesn't pretend to be that. It's got nothing to do with that whatsoever. But even if you can't appreciate it for sort of its level of ridiculousness, the number of cameos in that movie is spectacular. And the fact...
Well, honestly, the gifs all over Twitter were hysterical.
That Matt Lauer got eaten.
Yep.
Is reason alone to watch that movie.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Right there.
But to be...
Wasn't there a morning show that got kind of rained on?
Well, that was Matt Lauer and
Today Show cast.
Al
I
Roker.
honestly can't tell the one from the other. But
They and the Sharks all dropped down. They're all four sitting, and the Sharks very successfully dropped down over each chair to take them all out.
One wonders how many times you had to film that, or splice it, or whatever it was you wanted to do with that. But I kind of picture, a couple of 8-hour days at least, with the Sharks dropping and the Sharks dropping and the Sharks dropping. That makes me happy anyway.
So there wasn't a movie this week that I did not enjoy.
Okay.
So I think they were all to varying degrees, but I enjoyed all of them. I really liked Christopher Ray's movies a lot, which are the Mega Shark versus Colossus and Three-Headed Shark Attack. But when you come to, since Gene's put me on the hot seat, this was a better movie to me. In that it was just because it was actually a movie. I really enjoyed Sharknado 3, but it is what it is, which is cameos and how much more over the top can we get. And there's it was still doing crazy things in Lavalantula, but it felt less forced. So that's the one reason that I liked Lavalantula better.
It felt a little more like the first Sharknado.
Yeah, I think so, and obviously a lot like Big Ass Spider too.
Yes, which was.
Although in all fairness,
hilarious.
I'm going to put it out there, this was better than Big Ass Spider.
This one was? You thought?
Yeah,
we should talk more about that because that's interesting. But the second reason that I like this one better is because I don't think I've mentioned this. Nina Peoples retweeted me.
Yeah.
It's such the little things that make me happy.
When he says that, he sounds. I'm
In fact, Terry Ivins has yet to block me. I just like to point out that this is a victory amongst itself.
I was going to say, you sounded a little bit like Homer Simpson there for a second when he talked about donuts.
Okay, I get that. So, Bronwyn, fellow Canadian.
Fellow Canadian. He did go to Canada recently, so he's apparently just sort of assuming.
I really enjoyed it. It was awesome.
I was going to say, he loved it here. He drank the Kool-Aid.
It was very, very cool. I enjoyed it. It was very fun. So you actually feel that this one is superior to Big Ass Spider?
I do, yeah.
Why?
I do. Well, some of the same reasons you were saying that, how it felt a little less forced. And I know that this is sort of a ridiculous thing to say about this particular genre movie, but I felt like the writing was more cohesive. I felt like the casting was more cohesive. And probably because, they had the Police Academy sort of connections already going. So these are people who were familiar with one another and could play off each other. And the science was less worse in this one.
I know. It's like,
and honestly, I choke on that a lot. Like, that hurt me to say out loud. Like, that just... There may actually be trauma. I'm probably bleeding internally. But... less worse.
It's a really good thing you didn't watch Sharknado 3.
Which was science-free.
Well, and you know what? Go be science-free. Enjoy yourself, but don't bring Science Guy in with the crazy eyes.
Oh my god. Science Guy, and I know he's not the same actor, but you know who he reminded me of is like the garage valet from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
With about the same level of education, I'm just saying.
Yeah, this would have been a tough science week for you, Bronwyn.
Oh, God. Oh.
No,
Tara Reid did science.
No, she didn't. She really, really didn't. Like, I'm just, no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Which is why when I tweeted you, I said sciencing instead of...
Exactly. Which I appreciate. Thank you.
But
do you believe in science?
Now, Professor Thomas in Three-Headed Shark Attack, Jenna Sims, pretty solid. I think you might have found her almost acceptable.
All right.
But
I will watch that. I will have booze ready, but I will watch it.
Yeah, I think you will find her less offensive.
Okay.
Now
the bar is not very high. Oh my God! Like, okay, Big Ass Spider, funny movie, funny. But oh my God, in heaven, did it hurt me to watch. Like, they tried to science. They tried to science, and they should never try to science.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, cheers.
What are you young ladies drinking here?
Glengoyne?
Straight gin with mangoes.
Woo, that's nice.
Man, you guys are serious.
Well, we were supposed to drink whenever they said Lavalantula, so I had to have something.
I know Nia Peoples doesn't drink when she's retweeting. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe she's having a nice scotch.
Yeah, but Bronwyn, I highly recommend you avoid, or prepare yourself completely before you watch Shark.
More gin, less mango.
Yeah, probably lots of gin before. Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf, which was incredibly enjoyable. There's a German scientist in that.
That's going to make me want to stab things in the eye, right?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
But she is able to haul a dead body in heels quite well.
Yeah.
So, but Steve came through at the end there. Gutenberg did some sciencing.
Yes, red.
in Lavalantula.
Yes.
But you know what? I mean, really, it's pretty realistic. Of course his rocket suit would be made by NASA and they'd have it on set. And of course it would actually work because, Iron Man suits all work, right?
Yeah, they're all real.
Crickets.
Bobcat Goldthwait is. I'm going to go almost off topic here for a second, but Bobcat Goldthwait, I watched him do stand up. It's probably like a billion years ago, and he was joking around about doing Police Academy 13 and how his kids would be like upset about be making fun of him for doing these movies. Still, like 20 years in the future, to be like Police Academy 13 paid for that pool you're sitting in.
Yeah.
and then to have Gutenberg mention
actually
the fact that the helmet paid for
everything in our life. This helmet paid for everything.
Exactly. I'm dying.
And the kid is just like.
Yeah, it's total parallel to exactly what Gutenberg, what Bobcat said. Because he was in those movies too. I was surprised he wasn't in this actually.
Yeah, I think he's probably too expensive.
I think we've seen him though in a SyFy movie at some point. I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Oh, he's kind of a prickly guy. I don't know what he kind of chooses to kind of get involved with anymore. But I think he is trying to create a certain amount of distance between him and the
Police
Academy series. But by the way, Bobcat Goldthwait in an Alice Cooper video, by the way.
So, and did Bobcat retweet you?
Not yet. It's something to shoot for.
Aim high, Kelly.
But he's no Nia people. So let me just say.
So what was your favorite scene of Lavalantula?
So my vote would be Mike Mendez really knows how to do a gigantic spider crawling up a skyscraper scene better than anyone else. And so those are always really and it doesn't look. I mean, it's it's a little cheesy, but it's still pretty fun scene. So I do think kind of the ending boss scene was pretty awesome.
Okay.
It did kind of remind me of Diablo, that ending boss scene with the fire and the ground getting all burned up in between and everything like that. And so I did really kind of expect to see a barbarian or a wizard or something like that come out and bust a cap. But I think probably my favorite scene is actually a Nia People scene, where she's just like, oh, hell no, and goes all badass on the spiders, tries to chop it in half with Excalibur. And, I mean, I get that prop stuff isn't actually real, but in this movie it was because, the suit saved the day. So clearly she actually had, a sword, and that got melted in the spider carcass because, the carapace was also, all volcanic and shit. So I get that. But then a giant fossil was a big of a problem later, which made me kind of laugh. So I don't know. It's kind of a conversation. It's kind of a tie-up between the scene in the museum and Nia Peoples with Excalibur.
That whole fight scene with her was
pretty spectacular.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Right up to and including when she punches the glass and it doesn't break.
It doesn't break. That was great. I know.
Kenji opens up from Shurikans and fires out. Dude,
right?
That was a pretty strong
awesome
scene.
Yeah, it was a great scene.
All right.
What about you? Oh, yap. You?
Okay.
What was your favorite scene?
I have to agree with that, but since it's already been said, I'm gonna go with in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I have to go with when Gutenberg is running, and it's very obviously a screen in the background, and he's like.
What, seriously,
they're still like moving, like it was a 1950s movie. I was like, I was crying. I was laughing.
Somebody's
so
in the
hard.
background turning the crank to get the screen to move.
That's exactly what it was. It was so obvious. It was like right out of Invasion of the Pod People or something. It was just
yeah. Oh yeah. And yeah, I like that they understand that it's supposed to be a cheesy movie, so they don't try and like glam up the effects. They actually seem to glam them down. Like I've seen stuff on YouTube that have been put together by 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds, that actually looks more streamlined than the smoke in that movie. But since they were going for smoke, not smoke. Oh, it wasn't actually smoke. Oh, this is spoiler alert going to come back in the movie. But every scene that had smoke in it later had that same quality to it.
Right.
I do like the YouTube videos with chipmunks and squirrels fighting with lightsabers. Those are well done.
So exactly.
And
I have not seen those.
You have not? Oh,
no, but I do. But I have seen. I have seen an awesome picture. I've seen that.
Steve.
I have seen an awesome picture of gorillas fighting with lightsabers, and that was awesome. So, all right.
Anything fighting with anything with lightsabers.
Speaking of which, Sharknado 3, there is a lightsaber chainsaw.
Yes, there is. Yeah, which will be there's going to be some major science issues with Brian. With the whole space shuttle.
That's just throwing science out the window.
Lots of physics in a great degree, but it is still a lightsaber chainsaw. So
yeah, which is,
I like it.
Yeah, that was.
With a post-it note that has instructions on it.
Yeah, Lightsaber chainsaw and a shark body that can allow re-entry into the atmosphere.
Nice.
And also serves as a delivery word.
Yeah, multifaceted.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, go big or go home. To me, I don't have a problem with bad science as long as you don't try and explain it to me.
Right.
Because if you try and explain it to me, everything loses any semblance. Like, if you're just like, here, you just run with it. It's like in Kimmy Schmidt when she brings in the TV and it's not hooked up to anything and they can still watch things, but it's all like faux. So it's not really Law and Order. It's like Law and Ordained, Bubries instead of Fubries and things like that. It just says go with it. Just go with it. I'm okay if they just say go with it. But it's when they try and explain things and somebody has to sit there in a lab coat, which you never wear outside of a lab. It's just bad science.
It's kind of a fashion-y thing.
It's really not, though. It's not in any ever lab coat that's actually a lab coat.
But Brahman, I think you're going to have to give him the lab coat, or we're going to have to go back to the tight tank top.
Oh yeah,
discussion. So let's just give him the lab coat.
Yes, it's just the tailoring. Oh, the tailoring. I wish my lab coats were tailored.
All right, any other commentary you want to share about Lavalantula?
Mamalantula.
Whoa, that was pretty serious. And Jeans, you fessed up. You jumped during this movie.
Yeah, I did actually, because they were backing.
You did not.
I did. When they were backing really slowly out of the hallway, and then and they were really quiet, and they turned, and then that one was like in the hallway. I jumped. I did. I was like, damn it.
That's awesome. Oh, it owned you.
It did, a little bit. And so much so I tweeted, I confessed.
I love it. Somewhere on a movie lot, there's somebody eating a sandwich and going, and they don't know why. Yep.
So I don't know if I mentioned this, but
I know.
But Nia Peoples has retweeted me. Sorry. It just got up on my phone. I had to do it one more time. Sorry.
There will be no living with him now.
No. It's true. It's all over.
Yeah, but it was fine. Those little moments. This actually surpasses Vanilla Ice following me back.
I'm gonna go find that Captain Jack. There'll be no living with her. When she lights the fire on the island, and she's like, and that ship will come, and he's like, and he just goes walking off, and he sees the ship, he's like, there'll be no living with her now.
Nope. Why is the rum?
Oh gosh, we haven't talked about Captain.
My God.
Pirate Jack.
Oh, the pirate. Oh God.
Oh,
seriously, and just the tiniest moment of zeitgeist with the. It's not a lot of work for a one-armed stuntman.
Such an awesome character.
Oh, what? And okay, that was seriously, how did we not get a joke? How did we not get one of those, a priest, a rabbi, and a whatever walked into a bar? Because that was what that was. There's a moment when they all get in the car.
and an actor, a pirate, and a
kid from Jurassic Park with the creepy eyes.
I'm telling you, I will sign me up for your Killing Me Smalls and Pirate Jack. If they're part of my team, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like I got a shot.
As long as it's led by Nia.
Yeah, who might not retweet you.
Yeah, she needs to. She can obviously. She's got skills, so we probably need her to kind of take care of the major problem. But it would be really fun to hang with Chris and Pirate
Jack.
Oh no. Oh.
Guess who just got retweeted? By Nia Peoples.
Oh no! Clearly.
Oh.
Okay. That's awesome though.
She's not discerning apparently in who she retweets.
Oh no! I think she is. I think she's got remarkable taste.
So yeah. So I said how much fun is this? Let's bring on Lavalantula 2, and she retweeted that.
That's awesome.
So. But
she chose to do that much later than my retweet. In terms of her prioritization, she said, I've got to retweet this guy first.
It was chronological. Your tweet came before my tweet.
I think it was a prioritization. I don't know. We'll have to. I'll check with her later.
Well, the You're Killing Me Smalls Patrick guy favorited it, so I got a double whammy.
That was
There
cool.
you go.
That was a great tweet. So
yeah.
All right, and I'm looking forward to. I really hope that they do this again because that was a lot of fun.
It was fun. A hoot and a half.
And
although, where do you go from here?
Well, and I know, like, you know, because with Sharknado 3, it turned into this whole thing where even the commercials were tied in. I mean, the commercials had sharks in them. The commercials had Sharknado bits. They even did what is the comic that was getting
Peanuts.
Pacifico? No.
Marmaduke.
The cover of Archie actually is like a pile of sharks with Archie on top of it with a chainsaw.
Nice.
I mean, they tied in. I mean, there were sharks eating pizzas for. I'm sure it was Pizza Hut. There was, you know, I mean, it was just they tied in all these commercials. Benefit Cosmetics, whom I adore, turned a mascara wand into like some type of saw to kill sharks with, and Tara went off with out of the Benefit Cosmetics booth armed with that. So I mean, they really tied it all in, and they get like tons and tons of cameos. And while I think that's fun, I hope that they don't try and make this like the second coming of that.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? I hope they kind of let that be Sharknado's thing and let Lavalantula just be, you know, another fun movie. You know, if they do another one, I mean.
But clearly there's a whole sort of thing going on with the Sharknado, so, you know, people are going to want to capitalize. You know, they're going to want to get in on that. So
yeah, and they've already said there's going to be a Sharknado 4, because you were supposed to tweet April lives or April dies, and that's how you vote for the next one to see if she's going to be in it or not. Because right at the end, it was sort of a cliffhanger to see whether she was going to make it. So
there was a large piece of shuttle debris, surprisingly well targeted on April. Who goes to retrieve a set of wings.
Right, I know.
So I assume you're in April Dies, Jeans? Did you?
No,
I
said this. I think a woman who can put a chainsaw on her hand,
retractable.
You know, exact. You know, I think I think that's awesome. I think that's rockin' cool. So
well, she kind of just in these movies shows up and goes, "Hi, something's happened to me. I'm gone." You know?
She's like, "I'm pregnant." You know, she's like, it wasn't as much action with her this time. So she didn't give birth in a shark though. So you know, hey,
that's pretty action-y. You know, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, so that part, you know.
Oh no.
Too.
Do we have to discuss this?
No, we won't. Bronwyn, when you watch it and you come to the post-shark re-entry, let's
re-entry from space.
Because it was obviously a ceramic-bellied shark. It was very fortunate. How handy. I'd be interested in your thoughts of the post-landing circumstances.
Which implies to me that there was a landing and not a giant splat of burning debris.
Well, because there were parachutes.
From space.
Yeah.
And the parachutes that don't burn up upon re-entry into an atmosphere that is required to make them work.
Yeah, you need to roll with it.
You know what, though? Do you know, I have to say, Bobak Ferdowsi was in this movie. The Mohawk NASA guy was in this movie.
Yes, he was one of the 8 billion. Chris Jericho, by the way, another professional wrestler, I thought did an outstanding job as Bruce, the roller coaster guy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to ask, what constitutes an outstanding job as Bruce, the roller coaster guy?
He was likable. We had Gerald Webb joined. Gosh, it's a whole blur now. But he joined one of our shows this week. Oh, Mike's Fireside Chat. And Gerald popped in and talked about it. And it was kind of nice because he was like, oh, yeah. And we were all actually surprised that Chris Jericho, that guy can actually act. And
dude, he's a wrestler. He's been acting his whole freaking career.
And he's really, really good on the mic. Yeah, he has. Because there are some that you probably, John Cena, for example, not so much. But he did a nice job.
And his name was Bruce.
Which, yeah.
In a movie about sharks, which is, you know.
Yeah.
And he's killed on a roller coaster, which is
My name is Bruce.
Shark on the track.
If you're gonna have
Fish are friends, not food.
I didn't know you could speak whale.
So my last Twitter mention of the night, I promise I will stop.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard this before.
No, this is a different one.
Christ on Christ.
What is it? And I've got a favorite from Terry Ivans and not a block, which is key, you know. Because I even included the mildly creepy hashtag here for you, and I still get a favorite. Well, it's because she's a big Clippers fan, and there was a Clippers fan.
Creepy.
So I let her know.
Just
it was creepy.
Mildly creepy.
A little creepy. But Terry's knows I'm kind of creepy, so it works out. So.
And on that note.
What a spectacular note.
Yes. Finish strong.
Bring on Lavalantula 2. I'm ready for it.
Mm-hmm. I will pour myself another drink.
Yeah. I think the cast was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a really good movie. Like I said, kind of harkened back to the original Sharknado. Before it got all cameo-fied and stuff. And right in there with Big Ass Spider is probably one of my favorite creature features ever. So
nice. Very exciting.
Yeah. So thanks Mike Mendez and others for tonight. And,
yes.
Woo!
Strong end to Snark Week, and thanks to all the shows this week. So we had Dylan Knows, Nurture and Support, Fireside Chats, The Snooze, and Bring Out Your Geek finishing the show here. All talking about all the good movies. It was kind of fun to have all of us kind of get back together in different ways.
Bringing the band back together.
So it's pretty fun.
And you're putting together a playlist on YouTube with all of those that you're going to tweet, right?
I will tweet that back out. This one's already added to it, and
fantastic.
So it's really, really good. Woo! So all of the you can if you haven't
gun show over there.
Yeah.
Gun show.
Boom. Jeans and Nia Peoples will clear the decks for
That's right. We will.
Look, I got your back. I'm fierce with a hockey stick.
Woo! I call that a team.
Right? Right there.
Okay.
I'll tweet for you.
And we promise.
I'll watch from a distance and throw your towels when you sweat. That's pretty much as far as Kelly gets into any type of exercise.
I'll be rooting for you. So go.
Appreciate that.
One over there. There's one over there. I'll help you out.
He can be our spotter.
That's right.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.